I'm Stephen and Frederick, and this is How I Cook. This episode is going to be orange chicken. I really like orange chicken from the Chinese food restaurants. The deep fried nuggets of chicken in the wonderful sauce. It's sticky and gooey and flavorful. This is a little healthier and still has a ton of flavor. Healthier without flavor, fat. Nobody wants that. So I'm going to teach you how to make orange chicken. So I'm using chicken thighs, not chicken breasts. If you want to use chicken breasts, go ahead. So these are chicken thighs that I bought, boneless and skinless. I'm going to cut them up into bite-sized pieces, like the pieces you would get from the Chinese food restaurant. And I'll put them in a bowl. I already cut some up. This is, I guess, a little bit over a pound. This is going to be enough for 4 to 6 people, depending on appetites. For us, since there's 2 of us, it's going to be for 2 nights. The chicken's cut up. I'm going to put this in the sink and wash my hands very well. Raw chicken, you don't want to get yourself sick, contaminate it. Make sure you get things cleaned up before you move on. So cleaning up didn't take that long. Now, we're not going to deep fry the chicken nuggets, but we still want some texture, want some crunch. So what are we going to use? We're going to use panko breadcrumbs. Here's a cup of panko breadcrumbs. I'm putting them in a container. That's a container that has a lid. Some pepper and some salt. So I'm just going to put a little pepper. Let's call it half a teaspoon. Some salt. Let's call it half a teaspoon. This is a teaspoon, so there. So I'm going to put the lid on and shake everything up. Get it nicely incorporated. I'm now going to dump the chicken in. Making sure not to let the chicken touch me. And I'm going to shake it up. We want to get some panko on all the chicken. No, it's not on all the chicken. So that's why we can use tongs. Again, I don't want to let the raw chicken touch my hands. Now these are not going to be totally coated, like you won't see the chicken. This is just to add a little texture, add a little crunch. So do that. And shake it up a little. Pretty good. So I have a baking sheet. I put some aluminum foil on it. I'm going to spray it with some vegetable spray. And now, just going to spread out. Ow, I caught my finger. That hurts. I know you've all cut your fingers in the tongs as well. A single sheet. Try to separate the pieces as much as you can. So there we have it. Very little breadcrumbs left, but let's not waste it. So the oven is preheated to 400 degrees. We're going to put it in the middle rack for 10 minutes, 400 degrees. I'm going to clean this up now. I will then get everything in place for the sauce. So stay tuned, be back in a minute. So it's now time to tackle the orange sauce. The wonderful, sticky, sweet orange sauce from a Chinese food restaurant. We're not going to duplicate, but we are going to duplicate a lot of flavor. So it's an orange sauce, so we need oranges. We want the zest of 2 oranges. I've already zested 1 orange, you could see, and I'm going to zest the next one. This is called a rasp, and all you do is wash your orange first, rub the orange, turning it to get the zest. You don't want to go deeply into the white part. That's called pith, and pith is quite bitter. So, that's pretty good. You can see there's a lot of zest there. I'm going to put it right into the pot. You're probably wondering how much sauce I'm making, because that's a pretty big pot. Not that much sauce, but I want a wide pot so that when I put the chicken in, I can easily coat the chicken. So we have the zest of 2 oranges. Now we need the juice of these 2 oranges. Juicer helps you just get all the juice out. Next, keeping it very easy, lots of 2s. 2 tablespoons of minced ginger. 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. 2 tablespoons of honey. That's going to add some stickiness. Two tablespoons of soy sauce. So we're going to start this, start it on low. Let me get a wooden spoon. Mix it up. It really isn't that much down there, so you need to watch it, make sure it doesn't burn. That's why I'm having it on low. Maybe medium low. Next, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So we need the sauce to be thickened, and the way we're going to thicken it is with cornstarch. It's roughly 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 1/4 cup of water. You mix this together till it's smooth, no lumps. It's called a slurry. That looks pretty good. I'm going to put it aside for now. while the rest of the sauce cooks. We'll add it later, more towards the end, so things can thicken. Okay, going to clean some of this up. Going to turn over the chicken. Be back in a minute. So the chicken was in the oven for around 10 minutes. I'm now going to flip it over. Oh, look at that browning. That's wonderful. So the chicken is flipped and ready to go back in the 400-degree oven for another 10 minutes. You may have noticed I used different tongs. The tongs that I used with the raw chicken, can't use them while you're touching the cooked chicken. So these are different tongs. Okay, this is boiling. I have one more ingredient to put into the sauce. I really don't like a lot of spice, so just a couple shakes of red pepper flakes. If you like spice, you put more. Remember, this isn't the right way. This isn't the way you should do it. This is how I cook. Smells great. And next, let's put in that slurry. It'll help thicken the sauce. You can see it's really not that much sauce, which is good. It's orange chicken. We definitely want to taste the chicken. And look at that. That is thickening up so quickly. Wonderful. So it's been around 12 minutes. And the chicken's out. It's sticking a little. I'm going to put it in the pot with the sauce. There, these aren't sticking. You could see some nice browning. I also turned the pot back on to low. We're going to move the chicken around in the sauce. We don't want to be too rough because we don't want all the panko to come off, but if it does, it's still going to be in with the sauce, so it's still going to add some crunch. So I steamed some rice. We have a rice cooker here that does a really great job. Some rice on the plate. And then top it with some of the orange chicken. Let's give it a taste. Really good. Good orange flavor without the real gloppy orange sauce that you get in Chinese food. Do I love it? Yeah, I do love that orange chicken. But this, I love this too. You can serve it with whatever vegetable you like, asparagus, broccoli, whatever. But, oh, I forgot. Sesame seeds. Use sesame seeds, add a little more flavor. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of How I Cook. I'm Stephen and Frederick. See you next time.